Hey guys, so I don't believe I've never actually watched this with you guys. So this is Trolling Saruman from Pistol Shrimps, and this was how long ago was this? Fuck, 2011. God. So Trolling Saruman. Um, so it's in Lord of the Rings. Obviously, they go to Saruman to try to kind of convince him to, you know, give information, give up what he knows, and this and that. And I mean, Gandalf kind of goes in trying to spare the guy, even though, he had caused so many problems. They were friends and they were both Maiar. Uh, he's like, I can, spare your life and this and that. It doesn't have to be like this. Um, and Grima is there, Wormtongue, who's played by Brad Dourif, aka Chucky. Hey Andy, that Chucky. Um, Great actor. Also Bernard Hill, who plays King Theoden. For World of Warcraft players, he plays Tyrion Fordring. Put your faith in the light, and all is possible. Yeah, that's him. So they go and they try to negotiate with Saruman, and of course he's not giving anything up. And Theoden sees Wormtongue and tries to kind of get him back on their side, saying, hey, it's over. You don't have to be a slave to him anymore. And, Rima decides that, he's kind of right. He's tired of the bullshit. And Saruman's like, oh, yeah, he'll never be free, this and that. And Rima just stabs him in the back. Saruman falls down. Legolas shoots Rima with an arrow first, but Saruman falls down and ends up impaled on like a wheel thing with spikes coming up. But there's the one part of it where Saruman tries to attack Gandalf, who's stepped forward, and he shoots down this giant fireball. He's like, oof, with his staff, and it hits Gandalf, but it doesn't do anything because Gandalf is now more powerful than Saruman. And he goes pretty badass. He's like, Saruman, your staff is broken. And Saruman's staff like starts to heat up and it breaks. It shatters. It's like, oh yeah, that's a Maiar power right there. But the pistol shrimps added a little difference to it. If you guys remember the troll, yeah, it goes perfect because that's kind of what Saruman sounds like. So it's only about a minute long. So here we go.
Show yourself. Be careful. Even in defeat, Saruman is dangerous. I've heard enough. Shoot him. Stick an arrow in his gut.
So it's so simple, and the way it's cut and edited, it really is good. And the fact is, the guy singing and Christopher Lee, God rest his soul, such a great guy. Not that I knew him personally, but I mean, he was one of those true class acts, and but him sounded so similar, so it blended itself perfectly. This just some of the clips that they use obviously didn't make some sense because here we see like the stark sky and everything. This was when he was casting for the Avalanche, when they went up the mountain. Bernard Hill over here, got Tyrion. So sad he died in Legion though. As soon as I heard he was gonna die, I was like, oh god. But at least we got the Ashbringer. Freaking Gimli's like, I'm getting tired of this bullshit too. But Saruman actually dies from being stabbed by Wormtongue in the back. And Wormtongue presumably dies from being shot with an arrow. He's so high up, he's on the top of the tower, so I mean, really, not many easy ways. I mean, I'm sure Gandalf could have done it being freaking wizard, but God, 36 million. That's insane. In the membrane. Insane. He got no brain. 26 seconds. Aragorn, I think I'm going to be sick. Just saw this for the first time, and boy, I was missing out. Wow. Playlist. They're taking the hobbits to Trollgard. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Well, that's another one we'll watch. With the, wait, let's see. Fun fact, Saruman's power is that his speech is magical. Yeah, freaking Christopher Lee had such a deep, booming voice. It was a very distinct voice. And he loved Lord of the Rings. He pretty much said he read it all the time. So when he was offered to play Saruman, he did. And for this distinct, this scene here, being stabbed in the back, because he had gone to war, he was in the military, and so he actually told him what it's like to actually stab someone in the back, how when someone gets stabbed in the back, it's kind of like that last breath leaving them, because the way they wanted him to do it, he's like, that's not what happens. I've stabbed people in the back before. That's not what happens. So he kind of told him the proper way to stab someone in the back, because he wanted to be more realistic and genuine. He wanted the death of this amazing character to be really hit home with this whole realism of that drawing that last breath kind of thing. And it did, because there he was, he's on the top of Orthanc, and he just he gets stabbed and he just falls down and gets impaled. Quite a death for a memorable character. But then, of course, we see Christopher Lee again in The Hobbit, which was always a delight. But yeah, 2011, Jesus. So much time has passed. 36 million people seen it. I used to be subscribed to them, but then their stuff started to get a little, not really my taste. Kind of like Shmo Yoho. Right? Wait. Yeah, the auto-tuned people. I think it's Shmo Yoho. So yes, it's saying Mahoyo. So, Shmo Yoho, something like that, right? I used to be subscribed to them too, and same thing. It was just like, that was back in the day when you would subscribe to someone for like one video. You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to subscribe to them. And then you realize that it's really not stuff you want to watch or not that interesting. Then again, that's what people do with my videos all the time. They see one video they like, and they're like, oh, this was a really good video, I'm going to subscribe. But then it's like, why isn't he making more videos like this? Could have been a one-off thing. Maybe you should look at my content before you subscribe. I'm just saying. But yeah, that was trolling Saruman. There's a few things that I can watch with you guys. There's a Naruto one that I want to watch that's really big back in the day. The Taking the Hobbits to Isengard one. The potatoes, boil and mash them, stick them in a stew, that song. So there's a lot of stuff from early YouTube, early 2000s that pretty memorable. But yeah. So I guess today's question could be: did you watch all the Lord of the Rings movies, and if so, which one was your favorite? I mean, I like all of them, but people consider the first one a snooze fest. I mean, rightfully so. It's setting up the story. So once you get to Two Towers and Return of the King, yeah, you get more action-packed stuff. But I mean, the Fellowship of the Ring had plenty of action in it. So I mean, you had the final battle with, spoiler alert, Boromir's death. Sean Bean was born to die. Like everything he's in, he dies. This man cannot get a role where he doesn't. I mean, you had Arwen trying to get Frodo, past the river from, being attacked by the Nazgul, and you had the fucking river turning into fucking water horses and sweeping the Nazgul away. So fucking amazing. The short little battle with Gandalf and Saruman. Frodo getting stabbed, what, 2-3 times in one fucking movie? He gets stabbed on top of Weathertop by the Nazgul. Then he gets stabbed by the cave troll when they're in the mines, the mines of Moria. I think he gets stabbed twice, right? Yeah, twice. Frodo, share the load. One of my favorite sayings: share the load. Yeah, that's what she said. Or he. Could go either way, really. But anyways, yeah, which Lord of the Ring movie was your favorite, or The Hobbit? I mean, those were pretty good, especially Desolation of Smaug. Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug, that was perfect. Just that whole scene with Bilbo going in and kind of trying to stay stealthy, but then Smaug kind of realizing what's up because he wakes up and Bilbo puts on the ring to kind of stay hidden, but Smaug just keeps talking, and Bilbo's like, oh, okay. And then they have the back and forth with each other, and of course Bilbo's kind of placating to Smaug's ego, Smaug the Great, the Destroyer, all that stuff, and trying to pamper him with with the compliments, hoping that Smaug won't burn his ass. But yeah, I mean the first movie's pretty good too. But I mean all three of them were good, just not as much as Lord of the Rings was. But that's fine. They're still fun to watch. That's what Bilbo Baggins hates. I'm watching that scene where the fucking the dwarves come to his house and they just start eating all his stuff, and they start fucking singing songs, and they're throwing plates around. It's like, well, they made a mess and they ate all his food, but they are being generous house guests by taking care of the dishes. So, but yeah, what's your favorite Lord of the Rings movie? What's your favorite Lord of the Rings character? Yeah, so, yeah, that's gonna be it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, you guys know the drill. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.